guys, it's Christina from Redefine Creative, and I am here with a challenge, and this is for the Use Your Stuff challenge blog. And so the challenge this week was to create a layout using an animal theme. So I had this photo of my son, and this is from, we were just in the store one day, and he found this like furry fleece tiger hat and paws basically to wear on your hands. And so he came up behind me and yelled, "Rawr!" as loud as he could. And it was about the cutest thing that you have ever seen. So when I saw that Use Your Stuff was having this animal challenge, I knew right away that this was the photo I wanted to use. So before I started the camera rolling, I went ahead and created a bunch of layers behind my photo. And I did that using mainly pieces of pattern paper from a couple of different 6x6 paper pads. So one is one that I picked up in the Target dollar spot way back in like their autumn collection. And then the other one is from the Crepe Paper Cool Kid 6x6 paper pad. So I have used and used and used and used this Cool Kid collection. It is absolutely one of my favorites for boy layouts, and I am running out. I don't have very much left. So I have to get a little more creative with how I'm using it. So I went ahead and pulled out this black and white striped background paper, and that is from Dear Lizzie. And I added some stitching, and here you can see where I have kind of started that stitching. And so I took just 3 little sections, and I'm going to go ahead and add this orange stitching detail to those 3 sections. And it just kind of makes the pattern paper a little bit different and helps to add some extra dimension and make it kind of pop off the page. And it was very easy stitching to do because it's basically just kind of like a little wavy line, and it goes in 3 sections. Didn't take me a lot of time. So then I went ahead and grabbed my scraps of pattern paper that I was using, and those are also from the Cool Kid collection, except for the white with the orange circles, and that one is from Illustrated Faith. And I think it's called Bright and Bold. Maybe. I will put it down below if that's not correct. And then I grabbed this puffy sticker title that says Eat, Sleep, Roar, because that was just too perfect. And that little spot in the photo worked awesome to give me a spot to anchor my title. So then I grabbed these little puffy stickers, and these also came in the Cool Kid collection. And they're just black, shiny, like epoxy stickers, and they're a little bit puffy. They gave me lots of trouble, which you'll see in the video, because they do not like to stick. So if you're going to use these, I highly recommend you take your fine line bottle or your quick dry adhesive and add a little bit of extra glue to those, because otherwise they go all over the place. And you can see I left a bunch there up at the top that I didn't include. So then I grabbed this sticker that says Best Kid Ever, and I'm going to tuck that underneath my photo on the bottom. And all I did was take that sticker and kind of put it against my pant leg a couple of times to make it so that the sticker itself isn't sticky. And the reason I did that is because when it's tucked into the layers on that photo mat, it gives some extra dimension and it just hangs like a banner would hang. And I do have some foam, like fun foam, that I used behind my photo as well as behind that pattern paper strip. So everything else is popped up off the page, so it hangs really nicely there just like a banner would. So then I'm going back to my sticker sheet and I'm adding in some little phrase words. So a bunch of these came on the bottom of the Crepe Paper Cool Kid sticker sheet. So I'm going to do 3 in this top little cluster and then 3 in the bottom right hand cluster I have going on. So at the top they just say awesome, rawr, so darn cute. And then the ones at the bottom say my buddy, silly trouble. And so I'm just kind of staggering those so that they overlap as many different layers of my pattern paper clusters as I can. So that's one really good way to kind of tie everything together, is to have those little strips that are overlapping different layers. I also, which you'll be able to see closer in the close-up photos, I also added some pen detailing around the edges of my pattern paper strips over on that left-hand side. And those kind of make everything cohesive as well. And that's really important. I think it's really important when you're combining pattern papers from different collections. So I have Dear Lizzie Saturday, Crepe Paper Cool Kid, and then I also have that Illustrated Faith collection in there. So it gives me a chance to show that they actually do go together, and it kind of makes it flow a little bit better. So now I'm just going through that ephemera pack, seeing if there's anything else that I want to pull out to include on this layout. And I do find a little piece that says #Rawr, And I'm going to put it just down in that bottom left to kind of fill in that little gap of space below where my first pattern paper ends. And so then I'm going to go back and decide that I need to add some stars down there. And I have this one bluish colored one, and that works out perfect from that chipboard sheet because I have just a touch of blue details in my son's shirt, in the word sleep, and then there's a tiny little piece of blue pattern paper on that left-hand side. So this is another spot where I can include just a little touch of that blue to kind of make it pop and stand out. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some stars in some other different spots on this layout. So I went back to my stash and I pulled out this chipboard stars from Studio Calico, and I've had these hanging around in my stash forever. And so I figure anytime I can go back and pull older supplies out of my stash is a definite win. So I am pulling those out and including a few of those in each one of those kind of cluster areas. So I have some up in the top, and then I have 2 down in the bottom right, and then I'm going to add 3 down there by that hashtag Rawr down in the bottom corner. And that kind of helps tie everything together and re-emphasizes all the colors that I've chosen to use. And that's going to do it for this layout. So I really had a good time creating an animal-themed layout for the challenge over at Use Your Stuff. I do hope that you will check out the challenge, look at what the rest of the design team made, and also share a link to your work with us so that we can leave you some fun feedback for your projects with an animal theme. So I can't wait to see what you create. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. Bye.